Breaking news. The internet is ablaze. The Harris family is in disarray. Additionally, doctors are whispering things that no fan would ever want to hear. Would King Harris's life truly come to an end? The son, born into a royal family, is now on the verge of a heartbreaking farewell. Consider this. The lights in the hospital are dim. Family members gathered, doctors pushed a report across the table that might alter everything forever, and phones buzzed with ignored calls. King Harris's final farewell is the last statement, the last report, and the question that everyone is thinking about. Consider it. How did we arrive here? The once unstoppable celebrity, whose name the entire world was yelling, is now reduced to medical jargon, tearful expressions, and whispers of stillness. The use of social media is on the rise. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter are all in a breakdown. Haters are cheering, fans are praying, and leaks are coming from inside. And believe me when I say that what they're saying is more sinister than you would have imagined. This is more than just a headline, so fasten your seatbelt. This is the tale of a young legend whose silence may reverberate more than his music ever did. A tale of power, demise, treachery, and the final curtain call. There was an unusual silence in that intensive care unit. It was the sort of quiet that turns even the noisiest spaces into funerals. Nurses murmured, doctors. The young star, King Harris, the controversial prince of the Harris dynasty, was at the center of it all, lying motionless while his family held on to every breath he was able to take. This was more than just a medical emergency, let's face it. The storm that had been building for months culminated in this. King Harris was more than simply another famous child. No. He was the one who lived, made headlines, and consistently pushed limits. Everyone save himself was subject to his life's rules. Recall the controversies, the videos that were released, the late-night fights, and the astounding Instagram posts in which he attacked everyone, from detractors to powerful people in the industry. Yes, the King Harris, who made his name a curse as well as a crown. Therefore, it wasn't only a matter of life or death when the final report's words began to reverberate through the hospital's walls. It has to do with legacy. What became of the king myth, Harris? If this is the end indeed. But let's go back in time because that intensive care unit bed wasn't where this tragedy began. It began months ago when online rumors of his deteriorating health first appeared. It was not taken seriously back then. Supporters dismissed it with laughter. It was described as attention-seeking drama by critics. King himself responded with his typical snark, sending cryptic tweets that read, "You guys really want me gone, don't you? Watch what you wish for." Well, wishes can quickly turn into nightmares. The Harris family allegedly concealed the truth for weeks, according to insiders. According to anonymous nurses, King's hospital stays were emergency interventions rather than merely standard checkups. One claimed insider revealed that he was collapsing more frequently than anybody realized. The family didn't want the brand to appear weak, so they kept it quiet. Not the boy, not the person, but the brand. And the scandal gets more complicated from there. For King Harris was more than just a victim of circumstance. The machine he was living inside required power, performance, and perfection. And the fissures appeared when he was unable to keep up. Consider the previous year. During a performance, he stormed off stage in the middle of a song after having a public breakdown. His admirers labeled him ungrateful. He was ridiculed by headlines. But what no one witnessed was the private altercation backstage, during which King allegedly cried out, "I can't do this anymore," and then passed out. The ICU monitors are now beeping for his survival as a result of that same collapse. This is when things become even more gloomy. Because his doctors are concerned about what caused it, not simply about his health. According to one secret report, organ failure is caused by stress. Another source alluded to harmful self-medication, energy boosters, tablets, and other things that gave him highs but ruined his body. And you have to wonder if King Harris dug his own grave or if the industry did this to him. Twitter doesn't mince words. Funny how the family is crying now. Where was all this love when he was screaming for help? Is the caption of one post that went viral. Declares quite plainly, King lived wild. Now he's paying the price. However, supporters are divided. Trending hashtags that contain devastating fan art, old concert footage, and desperate comments include prayer fork and talk final goodbye. More than 10 million people have already viewed a video of a young child sobbing while clutching King's picture. The worst part is still to come. The vultures are circling as the family assembles at his bedside. Everyone wants a piece of the last chapter, the last photo, the last story, the last farewell. Tabloids, bloggers, YouTubers, you name it. However, what is contained in such report? That is the crucial question. A do not resuscitate order, according to some. Some say it's a chronology. According to reports, doctors are getting ready to inform King's family that there is no way to reverse his illness. Imagine being told something regarding your kid. What if you heard about your brother? Imagine learning about the one individual who, despite the mayhem, brought the Harris legacy into a new era. And they're shattering the family. Ty hasn't left the hospital in days, according to witnesses. For once, Tiny has been spotted ignoring cameras while sobbing excessively and smearing her makeup. Additionally, siblings are writing cryptic messages such as "pray for God and us," knows best. However, the internet is disintegrating as the Harris family does. Because King Harris isn't the only one involved. This concerns all young celebrities who are devoured by the spotlight, spewed out by the industry, and abandoned when the cameras stop rolling. Still, the rumors continue to circulate. There is more to the story, according to some insiders. There is more to that king's condition than just his health. It's connected to something more profound. The family does not want it to be revealed. Something that might make this farewell the most scandalous one yet. What might that be? Laundering of money? Covert transactions? A secret tape? No one is certain. Believe me though, people are digging. Furthermore, if what I'm hearing is accurate, King Harris's last chapter might not simply result in disaster. It could come to a shocking conclusion that alters our understanding of the Harris dynasty. Here's the thing then. Rarely are murmurs simply whispers when they get this loud. There was more to King Harris's alleged final report than just his health. Oh no, the messier it becomes, the deeper you go. According to insiders, if the actual version ever went public, the Harris empire would be reduced to ashes. View files that have been leaked. Indeed, there is more than organ failure or stress breakdowns, as evidenced by real hospital records that have been leaked and are being shared in encrypted groups. These purported reports claimed that King's body contained evidence of illegal narcotics from unaffiliated private vendors. Suppliers with alleged ties to Atlanta underground rings, incidentally. Rings are notorious for distributing and laundering money, illicit boosters, and wait for it, secretly financing the extravagant lifestyles of celebrities, whose name appears repeatedly in these dubious documents. Harris King, consider it. Before even reaching his prime, a 19-year-old is living the life of a rock star. Exotic automobiles, parties that made Vegas red in the face, and jewelry drops that surpassed some rapper's yearly salary. Supporters believed it to be Daddy Ty's funds. What if it wasn't, though? One alleged insider whispered, the Harris family knew. They knew the money wasn't clean, but they looked the other way. As long as the lifestyle matched the image, nobody asked questions. What if King had his own sponsors? The kind that don't show up in Forbes, but do show up in FBI investigations. If that's the case, then the final goodbye is about more than just bidding King Harris farewell. It's about being impact ready. When detectives figure out the source of that funding and the extent of the family's involvement. Social media is going crazy. Screenshots of the Harris Ledger transactions, coded names, and payment trails are already purported to be available on a popular TikTok. Millions are watching, fake or not. A single top comment encapsulates it. They never held royal status. They were crowns and hustlers. However, this is the most cooling phase. Weeks ago, doctors allegedly told King's family if King didn't change his habits, his body wouldn't last. And look what happened? There is purported documentation of those warnings. The family cannot claim ignorance because his file has handwritten comments signed by experts. They cannot appear unprepared. They received a warning. Nevertheless, the performance continued. Lawyers are rushing while cameras outside the hospital see TI pacing and small wiping tears inside closed doors. Because the Harris name would suffer not only emotionally but also legally if this final assessment reveals negligence or, worse, a cover-up. Imagine government investigations, lawsuits, and news stories like Harris Dynasty under investigation after King's death, and admirers. They are more divided than ever. Some people are incensed. For the sake of the brand, they let him die. Stop attacking them. They're already suffering, is one argument used in support of the family, although the damage has already been done. King Harris's untouchability mystique is beginning to crumble. Let's return to those anonymous disclosures now, because a shocking revelation was made by a different source who claimed to be a former family associate. King the Night was privately recorded prior to his collapse. In a panic, he claimed to have said he was being set up and felt betrayed. People will realize that this wasn't an accident when that recording comes to light. Hold on, a betrayal of setup? That completely changes the story. Is it possible that King Harris's breakdown was caused by someone wanting him to keep quiet, rather than by stress or poor habits? If so, what is the reason? What secrets did he possess that would make him dangerous? Supporters have theories, crazy ones. According to others, King was going to reveal dishonest business people. Others think he was prepared to come out of his family's shadow and reveal information that would have caused embarrassment to the dynasty. In any case, if that recording is authentic, it's a conspiracy rather than merely a health issue. This is the point at which the internet explodes. Users are connecting with hashtags like Achar Hauk Killed King and Warshark Final Setup. It's similar to amateur detective work. He captioned a video on his most recent Instagram story with the words, "Y'all think you know me. You don't." It's funny to look back on, isn't it? Meanwhile, insiders report turmoil back at the hospital. "It's like a war room," muttered one nurse. While the doctors are performing their duties, the family is fighting, sobbing, and blaming one another. It's not just grief, it's guilt. If somebody senses guilt, consider the consequences if detectives begin looking into King's contracts, the Harris accounts, and the dubious funding sources. We're discussing illicit corporate practices, tax fraud, and possibly even criminal accusations. The kind of backlash that ruins dynasties, not just careers. That's not even the last twist, though. According to rumors, doctors are working on a report that goes beyond medical matters. It contains a chronology, a harsh medical synopsis of King's degradation on a daily basis, warning after warning and repeated disregard. The family won't be able to fabricate the story if that paper is made public. The truth will come to light. It wasn't an abrupt change. It was gradual, avoidable, and driven by decisions, both his and theirs. And now for the crucial query, is it released by the family itself? Being accountable before the leaks hit, or do they conceal it in the hopes that the contents won't be seen online? Because believe me, the internet is quite skilled at digging. And guess what? This is where the Harris family's last straw, public outrage, and government attention all come together in this tragedy. Because King Harris's life won't end when the final report is released. Everything that his family has ever built might be destroyed. Whispers become roars as the final report is prepared. The hallways of hospitals aren't only no more tents. They serve as battlefields. Every line, chart, and signature is said to have been quadruple examined by doctors. Because there is no going back once this information is made public. According to insiders, there is already a leak. Consider this. The medical collapse of King Harris is not the only thing described in the study. Allegedly, it describes each disregarded caution, each questionable transaction, each private supplier, and the section that is most explosive. Notes imply that King's closest family members may have manipulated his way of life. Naturally, the internet detects it before anybody else does. Chaos spreads more quickly than wildfire after early screenshots appear on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Comments like cries of battle. For financial gain, they let him die. The Harris dynasty is unclean. This is greed, not mourning. Supporters are not holding back. The untouchable celebrity mystique was destroyed. The first legal battle follows. Attorneys purporting to represent unnamed sources begin to allude to malpractice cases rather than minor claims. We're discussing federal inquiries, financial malfeasance probes, and possible criminal charges in the event that impropriety is discovered. This could be bigger than Enron for Atlanta, one purported insider told a bogus news blog. In the meantime, the public perception of the Harris family is deteriorating. The analogy may be exaggerated, but the worry is genuine. Videos of small pacing hospitals and TI go viral. Both pundits and meme creators examine every level and every tense look. Not to mention fancy automobiles, private planes, and ostentatious presents. All examined under the suspicion microscope. Fans argue. Were they loving gestures or efforts to divert attention from the scandal? There are other battlefields besides social media. According to anonymous calls to media sources, King purportedly expresses concerns about covert agreements and contracts involving friends, family, and business associates on private recordings. The narrative changes from one of sorrow to one of full-fledged conspiracy if those tapes are made public. Multiple sites are reportedly engaged in a bidding battle for exclusive access, according to insiders. The public's response is explosive. According to online surveys, most people think that King's close associates knew more than they acknowledged. Around the world, hashtags like Reg Harris Exposed and Justice for King are trending. In place of birthday greetings and song excerpts, fan pages now have threads that piece together dates, events, and private meetings. Reddit turns become a full-fledged investigative site. The alleged final report is then leaked in bits and pieces, but not formally. It's also cruel. Detailed records of financial and medical advice that was disregarded headlines are dominated by anomalies and odd supplier activity. The research, according to analysts, suggests possible willful carelessness. Questions come up. Did the family put empire's interests ahead of king's? Were decisions manipulated for financial gain by outside influencers? Legal experts make conjectures regarding potential civil and criminal consequences in the meanwhile. According to reports, corporate attorneys counsel the family to be ready for asset freezes, subpoenas, and perhaps even forced brand deals and board resignations. Every company Thai King has, including sponsorships, music rights, and partnerships, is being investigated. If misconduct is proven, the consequences are not only humiliation, but also financial ruin. The public is also unrelenting. Mass comment campaigns, internet petitions, and street demonstrations call on authorities to reveal the truth. Fans are seen yelling, "No more silence. We want," during a candlelight vigil outside a hospital in one widely shared video, "justice. It is unavoidable, dramatic, and symbolic." Insiders also allude to a psychological cost. Family members are allegedly at odds. Press leaks of private disputes and the reappearance of old grudges. The togetherness that was previously depicted in media appearances is disintegrating. There are rumors of hush money, internal inquiries, and covert settlements. And don't forget that recording that was whispered. According to some observers, it could appear at any time, which could validate accusations of manipulation and treachery. Pop culture allusions are also common. On Instagram and TikTok, memes that liken the Harris family to reality TV dynasties proliferate. Talk shows, entertainment websites, and late-night hosts analyze every perspective, combining outrage and comedy. And in typical viral fashion, a horrific story is created by combining hospital footage with snippets of King's previous performances. Behind-the-scenes turbulence silences talent. However, the worst is still to come. According to investigative websites, the leak could lead to multi-agency investigations. State regulators, the IRS, and the FBI may work together. According to anonymous insiders, this might alter celebrity accountability in America if the financial irregularities and incompetence align. That's enormous. Greater than rumors, greater than news stories. For every celebrity leading a double life, this might alter the course of events. The tipping point follows. King Harris's collapse was at least partially avoidable, according to a former partner. If warnings had been heeded, he might have been saved, but no one wanted to pay attention. The management, the family, and occasionally even the monarch himself. Just this claim incites public indignation and paves the way for potential multi-party lawsuits. The public relations team for the Harris family is already in a panic. According to reports, spin doctors, crisis managers, and public relations specialists try 247 to manage the story, make comments, and plan damage control interviews. However, it is very difficult to control a narrative this explosive in the social media age. Every error and defensive quotation is analyzed and mocked online. The worst part is still to come. The last farewell that began the story is no longer solely a medical event. It is the headline of a complex scandal that includes financial malfeasance, healthcare neglect, and possibly intentional manipulation. The entire globe is observing. Authorities, the media, and fans are all anticipating what will happen next. Every action, statement, and choice made by the Harris family is closely examined. Legal battles will endure months, social media hysteria years, and the public's memories forever, according to analysts. King Harris may be gone, yet his last days' effects can last for generations. Contracts canceled, sponsors reevaluating relationships, and a damaged public image. It's a slow-motion scenario of total collapse. Here's the reality as Portion concludes. The Harris family is at a turning point in its history. Transparency, accountability, and possibly atonement are the outcomes of one route. The other ongoing lies, court mishaps, and the irreversible tarnishing of their reputation. The world awaits their decision, and for years to come, whatever transpires will be analyzed, discussed, and dramatized. This isn't just a celebrity story, don't get me wrong. Power, wealth, secrecy, and the ultimate cost of disregarding the truth are all addressed in this cautionary story. And there's no doubt about it. The last farewell from King Harris has already altered everything. Pay attention. This is not only an event. A full-fledged storm has hit. What started off as a heartbreaking medical issue has turned into a global scandal with King Harris's final farewell. Leaked reports, possible legal investigations, and family conflicts. Completely explosive. We're not going to stop here either. Consider it. Was King's welfare truly subordinated to the family's empire? Are the allegations leaked or from insiders? Do recordings contain any truth? The most important query is whether there is any more covert evidence that may make a huge difference. Celebrity scandals are the lifeblood of our culture, and this one is the most shocking to go viral to yet. It's your time now. Go to the comments and share your true thoughts with us. Is the family ensnared in control and greed, or is it innocent? We're not merely making assumptions based on the leaks, both public fury and insiders. Your voice is important as well. If you think King Harris has been harmed, hit the like button. Additionally, distribute this film so that everyone is aware of who is genuinely taking a position and who is merely acting. Additionally, remember to subscribe, as you will only be able to access all of the surprising truths on Gossip Spill Vibe. Every celebrity scandal and leaked detail was made public more quickly, loudly and brutally than anywhere else. For you, we expose, we uncover, and we make every narrative into absolute drama. Because this story is far from over, pay attention, be vigilant, and enable notifications. King Harris's farewell has only garnered media attention, and the next twist could appear on your TV at any moment.